Hello everyone, my name is Anne and I'm here with the boys once again, and welcome back to another episode of the Flat Chat. This is the third week, I believe, of our Premier League preview and predictions games. So basically, in case you don't know, in case you're probably new to the channel, what we do is we have a wee look every week with all of us that present the Flat Chat, and we put in our scores for each of the 10 Premier League games, and just at the end we have a wee bit of a points table and that as well, just to see who knows the best about the Premier League scores from week to week and that as well.
We'll put the table from last week up right now for everyone to see.
Yeah,
I believe
Jamie's in first.
Yeah, Jamie's in
Jacob's
first.
in second, but he's going to get a point deduction for having the scores in late this week.
Yeah.
Naughty. And then Aaron, you are...
I'm dead last after that as well. But hey, listen, one good game week hopefully this week.
Jamie had a really good game week this week.
Yeah, exactly.
So did Jacob.
It's a bit like fantasy in that way, where it's like one good game week could put you right back into the game.
Early doors, very early doors.
Early door. So anyway, we will just may as well get started then that as well. So the first game that we are looking at is the game between Spurs and Wolves, and as you can see from what we have of the scores, Heggie has it as 3-0 to Spurs, Callum has it as 2-0 to Spurs, and I've gone 3-0 to Spurs on that particular one. So we've all kind of agreed in that as well. That's roughly what's going to happen.
Stu has 2-0.
Jamie has 3-0 as well. Yeah. So everyone's gone for
a 2-0 win.
A 2-0 win, yeah. So no one thinks Wolves is getting a goal.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so. I don't think the form at the current minute has them scoring anywhere near scoring it.
Yeah. I think it really just depends on how early Spurs score. If Spurs score early, this could be 4. It really could.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling that Wolves will hold off till half time and Spurs will get a late goal and then they'll get a second one. I've seen this before. I predicted it.
That's why he's gone for the 2-0.
I just don't see Wolves scoring though. I think having Jimenez out is just such a big miss.
Aye.
And
they've really been lacking up front.
Yeah, and I think even Spurs, I know Spurs didn't play particularly well last week against Chelsea. It was against Chelsea though.
Still gritted it out.
I think that's going to get them. That'll get them all playing well together. I think. You know, the fact that they've managed to get a last minute winner, it's going to be a good feel around the stadium. It's back at home, and getting a late winner against another London rival is going to be massive for them. So I think Spurs easy win. I think here.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I hope that's not the case. It'd be lovely. I really can't see it though. I can't see anything other than a win.
The first game that's 12:30 on a Saturday, I wouldn't watch this week because Rangers are playing at the same time.
Oh, right.
Of course.
So I'll get to see one of the 3 o'clock games instead this week.
There we go.
I'll be working, unfortunately.
No.
I'll listen to it in Talk Sport. Listen to Jamie O'Hara. But pretty simple.
Pretty simple across the board. So we've all gone for 2-0 wins to Spurs. Scores. I'm sure the scores will probably be up on the somewhere in that as well that they'll get shown off.
We'll include Jacobs at this point, won't we?
Yeah.
Hopefully by now he's got his score in.
And hopefully he actually sends us them.
He's got about 17 hours to get his scores in before this is up.
And we've no idea where he is.
Of course. The power of YouTube editing every day. So anyway, the next game that we have is a game at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Villa. Higgy has gone for 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Callum has gone for the 1-1 draw, and I've gone with Callum. I think this will be a 1-1 draw. We also have Stu going for 1 each, and Jamie going for 1-0 to Palace. So sort of more leaning towards a draw, a couple leaning towards Palace beating them as well.
No one's gone for Villa winning at all.
Don't see it, to be honest.
I mean, I think we're clearly being generous by giving them a draw. Because by Jamie and Heavy thinking that they're going to a Palace win here, it's just because you're impressed with how Palace have looked. I know they've played against 2 tough sides, at Arsenal, Liverpool. And Patrick Vieira said it, that's 2 teams that are competing for the league.
Yeah.
In fairness, I think this will be a game where you see more of where Crystal Palace are going to probably be. This is one of the teams that they could easily give a game or they could easily lose to in that as well. It's going to be like one of those tricky ones.
Yeah.
I just think Selhurst Park is just such a fortress.
It is. But it's more. I think a big thing for me is I think it's more of a fortress when it's a late night game.
Yeah.
It's that when it's under the lights, it's Selhurst Park's the one where I think it's less of an advantage when they're playing a 3 o'clock game on a Saturday. I really do.
I still just think they're better than Villa.
Maybe. I think a big thing for Villa is Diego Carlos now is out. I mean that's a new
ruptured Achilles.
Yeah.
Is that Konsa back in? Or is he still injured?
I'm not sure.
There's quite a bit of melodrama as well surrounding Villa and that as well. The whole thing with Tyrone Mings as well, everything else like that. I mean, I completely agree with the point of Selhurst being a fortress, because I think the game that really showed that after me was the game last season between Palace and Arsenal and that as well. Like, and obviously Palace played amazingly that night, but you could tell that their fans were constantly behind them. So I can totally understand why the guys have gone for Palace wins and that as well.
I also think getting a point at Anfield will spur them on, even though they were winning against 10 men. They weren't expecting to get a point there
exactly.
At the start of the night.
Like, you see, if you'd have turned round and said, like, you were going to be 1-0 up against Liverpool, Darwin Núñez was going to get sent off, and they might score again. Did a bit of horror for that and that as well.
I think if they do lose though, that's worrying.
That is quite worrying,
because then it's 1 point from 3 games. I know they've played 2 games that are considered hard, but they did beat Arsenal last year at Selhurst Park, and you would expect them to at least get a point against Villa.
I think. Yeah, I did have Palace winning at some point. I just had a feeling that Villa gets. I think they had a good result last week, Villa, to be fair to them. As a good result against Everton. They nearly bottled it in the end.
Of course.
But I do see them getting a point. I can't see them getting a point. I think Tyrone Mings actually looked good last week, despite everything that's going surrounding him. It could go either one or two ways. I think it could go. I really don't see Villa getting a win though.
Nah, I don't see. But I think if out of the two, the most likely one is going to be Palace and that as well. So that is the scores for the Palace and Villa game. Pretty leaning towards a draw, but more people leaning towards a Palace win, which I think is probably fair enough. The next one is at Goodison. We're looking at Everton versus Nottingham Forest. Heggie has 2-0 to Everton. Callum has 2-1 to Everton. I also have 2-1 to Everton. Stu has 1-0 Everton, and Jamie has a 1 each draw. So we're all kind of leaning towards Everton winning at home, and that. I mean, without wanting to disrespect Nottingham Forest, because they performed massively well against West Ham and that as well, which is why I've had them scoring at least.
But we did see what they were like away from home in the first game of the season against Newcastle,
and
it was not
great.
pretty. I just think Everton as well was a very hard place to go. I think Everton and Palace are 2 of the hardest places to go in the league.
I think so too.
And the crowd's just going to get behind Frank.
Yeah.
They need to get a win. They've lost their first 2 games, and this will be the perfect opportunity for them to get a win.
This will be a kickstarter on that as well.
They need to win.
I was going to say unrelated in that as well, but obviously we've seen that Forest have just spent like £44 million on a player. Like that's ludicrous money.
It's big risk the amount of money they're spending. But they have to make sure they stay up. Or this is going to be I think it'll be a disaster for them to go. But it'd be like Fulham a few years ago with what they tried to do.
How much money have they spent, Forest?
They've made 16 signings and that as well, so it's something.
What a changes.
Sorry about that, guys.
I think Everton. I was an Everton win, a narrow win, or a draw. But I think the fact that they've got Goodison, I think will get them.
I didn't have it as a draw personally. I just think Goodison factor's too strong. I think Everton are too strong for them at the moment and that as well.
Jamie has gone for a draw though.
And he will be the only one going for a draw, because there's no way Jacob's predicting a draw in this game.
No, exactly.
He's got to back his team. It's the same way with me. I didn't want to back Arsenal winning against Palace a few weeks ago, and I did in the end, and I'm glad I did. I was going
to say I would have loved to have backed my team in that as well, but unfortunately, we can see who we're playing. We'll get on to that.
We'll get on to that. So on to Fulham Brentford?
Fulham Brentford, game at Craven Cottage. We have Heggie as a 1-1 draw, Callum as a 1-1 draw. I've gone slightly different. I've gone 2-0 Brentford. Stu has gone for 1-1 and gone for a draw, obviously. And Jamie has gone for 3-1 Fulham. So there's a bit of a mix on this one.
We've got everything. That's the first one we've got a score from everyone.
Yeah.
I was leaning between 2 scores, 1 each and 2-1 to Fulham, because I've been very impressed with what I've saw so far from Fulham.
I mean, you say that as if you're not impressed with what Brentford did last week.
Exactly.
I think maybe that's what Aaron's going for here. He's impressed with Brentford.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is a season where Brentford can actually kick on and make some noise, and I think honestly, I think they've just got the beating of Fulham in that as well. They're a well-drilled, well-sorted side, and I think Fulham is good. I'm in agreement with you. Fulham have really impressed me in that as well, but obviously we don't know, because obviously Mitrovic is starting to misfire a little bit this early in the season. I know
He's missed a penalty.
I know he's missed a penalty.
I think this will be more.
This will be more up his street.
Yeah, I think this will be interesting to see. He's at home. We'll see how it goes.
Two unbeaten teams playing each other.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's going to be another draw. I think that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I get the draw shouting at as well, but no, I think it's just the same as you say. You've been really impressed with Fulham. Brentford's been that team for me that have really impressed me sort of early doors.
They've both been two surprising starts so far.
Yeah, because I think we've at least we've all got at least one of them going down.
Yeah,
perhaps even two of them in some cases. And then they probably have for surprises, but again, it's only game week 2.
Yeah, it's only game week 3, so obviously you can't really take too much in that as well from this point in the season onwards. And that
so that'll be the game I'm watching.
I'll probably watch that one as well, to be fair, because of that. That's actually.
I think that's the best game out of the 3 o'clocks.
Well, we've got Palace, Villa, Everton, Forest, Fulham, Brentford, Leicester, Southampton.
Yeah, that's easily the best one out.
A London derby.
Maybe not Leicester, Southampton.
Nah,
I don't think
like
so.
Watching Leicester.
No,
in recent seasons.
I think it's a more predictable game than that as well. To be honest with you, which is nice and which is obviously nice and handy because it means we can obviously transition on to Leicester Southampton. Everyone has 2-1 Leicester here, so everyone's got a Leicester.
Jacob, do not let us down.
And I was going. That's a message to you, Jacob. By the way, that as well.
All these scores as well are done independently, all sent to me. I put my scores in first, so I don't see any scores.
Yeah.
So that is just a universal opinion between the 5 of us.
This is basically just to stop the comments of everyone that is inevitably going to go, this is ranked, you all share your scores beforehand. We really don't. Honestly.
That's built in, that's competitive. No one wants to go to McDonald's.
Exactly. I mean, well, I do, but not for this instance as well. But I
wouldn't mind either. We all want Stu to go because he's the one that is refusing right now.
I was going to say, see him going, just to watch him be miserable.
He would be so embarrassed.
He would be so miserable.
He also doesn't like meat.
Yeah, so
he's going to be eating the worst stuff.
He's going to have a sandwich. What can he eat?
Apple packs
and apple pie, chips, ice cream. He's going to be. No.
I was going to say, watch out for that video at the end of the season. But
is this pretty easy though? Then
pretty easy.
This was 9-0, wasn't it, a few years ago?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, what I was going to say.
No, but was that not at St Mary's?
That's terrible, isn't it?
I think it was at St Mary's.
Imagine turning up at home and losing 9.
I remember Jose Perez went in a madness that night.
That was a night everybody kind of went mental at him, going, oh my god, how good's he going to be? And then obviously nothing really happened since, unfortunately.
I just think they'll scrape a win.
I think
it's pretty straightforward that as well. Southampton
haven't looked terrible.
They've not looked bad.
They were bad against Spurs.
Who did Leicester have this weekend?
Last weekend they had Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And scored 2 away from home.
They actually didn't look bad.
Yeah.
They didn't. That's what I've heard a lot of people. They didn't look. But they when they had the ball, they weren't bad.
Yeah.
But
it's just Arsenal have Gabriel Jesus now, and someone that can actually score goals.
Arsenal created the most XG of anyone in the league so far. So.
There you go, fun stat.
And Leicester's one of those teams they're up against. So.
Yeah, and obviously we can move on pretty quickly. Speaking of Arsenal,
the 5:30 game.
The 5:30 game is Bournemouth against Arsenal. So I'll read out the scores for you. Heggie has 2-0 Arsenal. Callum has 3-1 Arsenal. I've gone 3-0 Arsenal. Stu has gone for 2-0 Arsenal and Jamie has gone for 3-0 Arsenal. I'm surprised at you because I didn't think you'd have Bournemouth score.
I do. It's just
Is it pessimism?
It's a wee bit. I'm a bit worried. It's a away game. After last week, the goals we didn't look under pressure at any point. Well, rarely throughout the game, but we still conceded goals. I think there's still a mistake in the back line. I think they're still adjusting to play with each other. And I could just see Keith Hammer or something scoring a header. I can just see a mistake. I do think Arsenal will win the game.
In fairness, the OG from Saliba last weekend was a bit of an unlucky one, to be fair.
It was, but I think the biggest problem with that was the lack of communication. I think they're still getting used to playing each other. That's why I just can't see. I can see Arsenal getting a clean sheet. But in our prediction, I think they'll get one. You can see Arsenal getting a clean sheet, just not right now. Yeah, I think they're still getting used to play with each other.
Bournemouth as well had a good result at home in the first game of the season.
That's very true. Of course. Well, I don't think anybody really expected that, to be perfectly honest, in that as well. Like, obviously, Bournemouth, I don't know how much you actually seen in the Championship last season, but they were a decent side. But you were sitting there thinking, right, okay, it's like
they've got a good manager as well, Scott Parker.
Yeah.
He will be good when he's a bit more experienced. But I just see this game going exactly the same as Palace Arsenal went, where Arsenal will dominate early, and then Bournemouth will get a wee bit more of the ball in the second half, but Arsenal will get a second and kill them off.
You think so? You don't think Arsenal concede then? No.
No, I
don't see Arsenal.
No one else believes so. I mean, I hope you guys are right, obviously. I want a clean sheet again. I'm sure Ramsdale will love that.
I think I was going to say, if I was just make sure there's a camera in front of his goal, because he always performs best with the cameras and all that. I know. Aaron Camsdale. But anyway, pretty self-explanatory then. Everyone has Arsenal for that one. The next one is Leeds against Chelsea at Elland Road, and again, Heggie has 1-0 Chelsea. I have 2-1 Chelsea. You also have 2-1 Chelsea. Stu has 2-0 Chelsea, and Jamie has 1-0 Chelsea. So nobody's putting the love in for
not even yourself.
No, not really. I was going to say we've had a good start to the season. Like what was it? Like 5 points at 5 points in 2 or something like that as well, or 4 points in 2. Like that's still really, really good compared to where we were last season.
That'd been really good. 5 points in 2, because that's impossible.
Exactly. I was going to say 5 points in 2 would have been great. 6 points in 2 would have been even better. But you can't obviously win them all.
Can't be Arsenal, Man City, can you?
Definitely not. But I think it's one of those games where we'll score first, and I think that'll just wake Chelsea up a bit, and then they'll just go on. They'll go on and push on. I think obviously Rodrigo will score and continue his goal scoring form.
Have you got him in fantasy?
I don't have him in fantasy, but if he keeps being the top scorer in the league, then I think you just have to get involved with that. Considering Bamford's now out for about 27 years. But I think Leeds will score first. They'll get the Elland Road crowd behind them, but I think he'll be one of those ones where Chelsea's class just kind of tells, really, to be honest.
I see the same game going, the game going the same way.
Kind of. I had a different score initially, and I did change it last minute. I had 1-0 to start with, to Chelsea. I thought it'd be a bit of a good game. I think Chelsea are just too good defensively, even for Leeds, who I know are very, very. They're actually very good going forward.
They're great going forward, yeah.
And that played into my mind too much, and I thought, well, I can see Leeds getting a goal. But I also see that I think if they do get a goal, it'll wake up Chelsea, and Chelsea will go on and win the game.
Yeah,
I think they'll win it late as well.
It'll be one of those heartbreakers and that as well. Where it'll be like Koulibaly at like 86 minutes or something like that, or like we'll
Reece James. It's gonna be Reece James. He's gonna be playing right centre back, and then
I was gonna say that will trigger him so often that as well. The amount of times this man has been going on about Reece James at right centre back.
I don't mind it as long as it goes to right wing back in the second half,
and then he gets his goal.
Aye.
To be fair though, when he plays right centre back, even when he was doing it for,
he's still playing balls on.
He gets forward.
Yeah.
It's quite. It's like a wee bit like when Tierney plays for Scotland. When he actually gets quite far forward.
It was the team that did it. Sheffield United, the right centre backs and left centre backs used to overlap.
Yeah.
Remember in their first season when they did really well.
Aye. But yeah, no.
I just think this is going to be a golden game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
Chelsea have. I mean, like, the game of the season so far is Chelsea, but they were boring against Everton.
They weren't exactly great in that as well. Like they just kind of exist at the moment in that as well. Chelsea, to be honest, like they do well.
Sure, they do. I think they'll be up. Of course, they'll be up there.
People are underestimating Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, because they've looked a wee bit good in the first 2 games. Everyone's going, we're not over it.
Let's talk about them after 10 weeks. And see what's happening.
It's the same with a lot of teams. Same with obviously Man United. Everyone's thinking they're terrible. They could win the next day. They won't, but they could. Arsenal could go on a losing spree now as well, which they could easily get.
I was going to say, which one of those two are you more confident about actually happening? But anyway, we'll not talk about that. Next one up is West Ham versus Brighton at the London Stadium. Heggie has 2-1 to Brighton. Callum has gone for the draw, 1 each. I've gone for 2-0 Brighton. Stu has gone for also the draw, and Jamie as well. So 3 draws in this particular game. I can see that. It's a very even game, I think. Brighton are another team that have impressed me, like, to no end. Like, they're unlucky against Newcastle last week. Looked as if they could score at will at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Brighton are just a very good team.
I think they are too, but I didn't once consider Brighton winning this game. The
Really?
only other one I thought about was West Ham winning it.
I don't see West Ham winning it.
But why is that?
I just think Brighton are just much better in every department.
Right now,
Is that based on the first 2 games you've seen?
Yeah, and last season, like the end of last season.
right
Brighton have
now,
been very good.
right now, the form leans more towards Brighton for me. I think.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, yeah, West Ham lost to New Forest last week. Away from home.
yeah.
They
City
obviously lost to City, which is fair enough.
of course. I mean, like you don't take a look at the City game and that is go like.
But I can see this as a game. I can't. I mean, I know I've gone for a draw here, but I can see this as a game where Brighton have a lot of the ball, but West Ham are going to be ruthless in the counter attack. They've got big, strong players up
I
front.
think West Ham have looked very poor in their attack. They're still playing Antonio. They don't trust Skamaka yet.
Exactly.
Maybe he plays.
I don't think it will, because he's only been playing 20 minutes a game. And Bowen hasn't been firing.
No.
They've got Ben Rama, who's looking decent. He's been looking not bad in the left wing. But even Rice has been looking a wee bit off it.
I feel like all this is just it's from a very small sample size.
Of
You
course
know
it is.
that they're going to have to
Yeah.
start firing at some point if you've got them as high up the table as you do in
Yeah.
predictions, because we all do, don't we?
That was before the start of the season, or before we've seen anything.
Exactly.
Obviously,
Very limited. We'll probably see a very limited amount of pre-season that as well. Obviously, you'll have seen West Ham a little bit more because obviously they played Rangers up at Ibrox and that as well. But I think just the form right now leans more towards Brighton for me. I mean,
Yeah, it probably does. You're not wrong.
I think
agree with you there.
a draw is very likely as well.
a draw is a fair
Yeah,
result.
yeah.
I'd say a draw is probably fair, but I also think Brighton are just due goals after Newcastle last week. I think they could have and should have scored as well.
They should.
West Ham still have the centre back issue because their new signing's still injured.
Aye.
Eggward, or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Eggward.
Eggward.
Aguard,
Aye.
where? I don't know.
Who have even been playing? I mean, it's been Zuma and I can't even remember who it is.
I was good.
But I remember
Dawson, they're not playing him, are they?
No. But they looked ropey last week against Forest.
Yeah, I was going to say I love the whole chant that they gave Kurt Zouma and that as well. That's how your cat feels. That was incredible. But anyway, pretty even spread across the board and that as well. A few draws, couple of guys leaning towards Brighton.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing really crazy. I don't think there's too much crazy about the next game either, which is up at St James's between Newcastle and Manchester City. So Heggie has got 2-0 to Manchester City. Callum also has 2-0 to Manchester City. I've gone for 3-0 to City, and Stu and Jamie have gone for 2-0 to City.
Aaron didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the 2-0 memo. I don't think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be 3. I think it's just going to be a case of.
I've seen this score. I can see it in my head. I really can.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. See, whenever you're looking at the predictions, that as well. Do you guys just kind of look at the game in your head and go, I can see this being.
It was Brighton Newcastle last week.
Aye.
We all said that's just a guaranteed draw.
This is the guaranteed 2-0.
This is like the guaranteed 2 or 3-0 on that as well. Better be 3-0.
Nah, don't sneak your 3-0.
Aye, you see-
I'm sneaking my 3-0. And any chance I'm getting to sneak my.
I don't see Newcastle getting scudded at St James's Park, and 3-0 as a scudding away from home.
Yeah, I think so too.
To be fair, it is Manchester City, but
Yeah, of course.
they could do that to anybody that they want.
We are saying that as well about it being St James's Park, but we're not seeing any goals from Newcastle's point of view.
Yeah.
Don't think so. City's defence is just too strong, I think.
I think they have just too much of the ball.
They'll just have
They'll
too
do
much.
exactly what Brighton did last week.
They'll smother them.
Do you think Man City will perform the same as they did against West Ham, where they had about 75% of the ball?
I think so,
Do
yeah.
you think they will let them have as much as that, or do you think Newcastle will maybe get a wee bit more on the ball because they've got a bit more technical ability?
I was going to say it really. I think it really. Again, similar to the sort of Spurs game. I think it depends really on the start. I think it really. If City can get a quick start, then let's be honest, it'll probably be curtains for Newcastle, unfortunately.
Newcastle need their big players to play well this week,
Aye,
which they didn't last week.
Yeah. They didn't get control of the midfield. Brighton, did smother them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this will be a case of just a better technical team, unfortunately, just comes to St James's and just smothers them off the ball.
Yeah,
I think
easy.
Pretty self-explanatory in that as well. So 2-0 and the correct prediction of 3-0. Please clip this. And,
You're just praying, Jay. We get some 3-0 in here. You're not lonely.
No, he'll put 2-0. I know what he'll put. I know what he'll probably put. But now the probably most interesting one of the weekend, that as well, the Monday night game between Manchester United and Liverpool, which has somehow become a relegation game. So we'll go through the scores. Heggie has the 1-1 draw. Callum has 3-1 to Liverpool. I've gone for 2-0 Liverpool. Stu's gone for 3-1 Liverpool, and Jamie has gone for 2-0 to Liverpool as well. You've got a draw.
Yep.
Explain that one. Start with you because you're different.
They've got no Keita. Not no Keita. What am I talking about? No Darwin. No Jota. No Firmino. They've got no attack. They will have to play Diaz up front, realistically, and Elliott on the wing, who has been their best centre mid. They're going to have to play Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho, and Fabinho's been poor. Defence, Van Dijk hasn't been looking too solid.
Especially last week, he looked ropey last.
What was the first game they played Liverpool?
Fulham.
He gave away the penalty as well. Mitrovic had him in strings. Whereas last week, Zaha, I mean, what is he doing for that goal?
Have you actually listened to people explain it?
How about the same?
So they're saying that what he's doing, he's running at full pelt, and if he keeps running, Zaha's going to do what Zaha does every single time. He's going to cut in, and he's going to shoot.
Right.
What he's doing there, and I understand what you're saying, because you think with Van Dijk he should be able to deal with it in some way. He should maybe slow himself down, but he's not. But what he's doing is he's trusting his goalkeeper. And Zaha puts the ball in the bottom corner. It is a brilliant finish.
It is a good finish, but I'm sorry, it's so poor for Van Dijk.
I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I really don't. I think it's bad. The week before was bad.
Yeah,
it has to keep running there and stop the shot, because that is the direct threat. The direct threat isn't him getting cut inside on, because Van Dijk is agile enough where he can turn back. Van Dijk is that good. He has to just stop the shot.
I think he's basing it off the profile of player that the Zaha is. Zaha cuts in there. He does. He only shoots because Van Dijk says that's your decision. I made the decision up for you.
Zaha probably isn't even aware of Van Dijk's actual position because he's that far ahead of him. I think it's poor for Van Dijk, and I think
his
Van Dijk
judgment maybe is. I
was going to say I'll definitely grant you the game against Fulham he was poor, 100%.
I just think Man United will make a draw here. I think
they'll get a goal.
Yeah,
I think Rashford's going to get a goal because I've got him in for fantasy from last week.
I don't. I
think the United crowd, I know there's going to be these walkouts, but
exactly with that going on as well, I just can't see them I
can see them staying in this game a long time. I don't know what it is. I've just got a weird feeling. I know Liverpool are favourites.
I kind of understand what you mean, but
it's just for me, even in their weakened state and that as well. Because let's be honest, if Darwin didn't get himself sent off, this could be this. I have a feeling it wouldn't be like 1 eaches and 3 1s. It could be like 4, 5, 6s pretty easily in that as well. But obviously with Darwin out, it obviously blunts the edge of their attack. As you said, they're going to have to play Elliott, they're going to have to play Diaz up top.
Elliott has been their best midfielder. And this game has literally turned into the battle of the shit midfields, because
he's not in the midfield anymore. He'll be playing up front. He'll be playing one of the wing, probably.
Which means they're going to have to play Milner, who, let's be realistic, he's a bit shit now. He's a bit old.
He works hard, and that's about it.
Fabinho has been shit.
In fairness,
Henderson is fucking just a side pass merchant.
In fairness, if you're going to play your crap midfield, unfortunately, Man United fans, this is the game you would probably do it, because realistically, Ten Hag will probably have Eriksen playing centre back.
You're ripping apart a lot of what Liverpool have got.
Then they're playing Man United.
What the hell have Man United got? Now can you talk about Man United? What are you expecting from Man United in positive way?
I just expect them to sit in and soak all the pressure in. I just don't see Harvey Elliott producing the same creative threat that Diaz, Nunez and Salah would as a front three. Because Diaz's main attribute is cutting in off the wing, and he's not going to be able to do that if he's starting up front.
I could see them getting a goal, but I could also see where Callum's going, because I think it's Man United right now are the kind of team that are going to be affected by looking up and seeing fans leave.
Is it going to happen?
Is it going to affect them?
And is it going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. I think it'll definitely happen, because there's been enough noise about it.
If Liverpool have been as dominant, were dominant in the first 2 games, I would maybe see it happening, but they've not been great either.
Well, that's why Aaron called it a relegation battle. One last thing on that game though. You've obviously gone for a 1-1 here, Heggie. What does that mean you've done with your captain? Are you thinking that Salah's not the captain?
No, I'm still going Salah captain.
He's finally realising.
No. I need to go Salah captain because everyone's going to go Salah captain, and I have to stay in the race in fantasy.
You
It's
can go
not
for
the week to go for a differential.
You can go for a differential in a prediction, but you can't go for one in a fantasy. I see what you mean.
And
I've done that before.
I think it will be one each, but just in case Salah does well, I need to keep him captain.
Yeah, no, of course you do.
Yeah, and again, obviously, if certain things didn't happen in the Palace game, we probably would have been talking cricket scores from that as well, potentially.
I think the only other option you've got for captain this week is Jesus.
Obviously, most points last week, that as well, so...
Yeah. But no, I'm going Salah.
You kind of have to go Salah on that as well.
I'm still expecting Liverpool to win it. I really am. I think their poor start to the season, they're going to be affected by that much more, and
they'll be angry
more than Man United.
They'll be angry. Like Klopp will be angry.
Klopp will be fuming.
Klopp already
was
was
fuming after the first game, and they still didn't come out and win.
To be fair,
they're playing Man United, but they want to embarrass Man United.
Klopp was fuming at the pitch, whereas last week he actually sounded like he was fuming at the players and that as well.
Another factor in my decision that I forgot to say: Eric Ten Hag has a great record against big teams. He is a manager for the big games.
Would he sit in? Does he do that though?
He's just got a very good record against big teams. I think
with Ajax though.
Yeah, but still, Ajax, Man United, Come on, against Liverpool. Liverpool would be.
He's not going to. Yeah, but he built a team. Well, as you were saying, he's got a very good record, but he was. Yeah. This record is
right with Ajax.
With Ajax,
said.
Yeah.
What difference is Ajax to Man United?
Ajax had players that would play, that could understood and knew how to play the style of football that he wants.
Right. Fair enough.
I think your only point is maybe even a pre-season game they played well against Liverpool. That's maybe a point you could have made there.
I didn't even think that either.
Yeah, that's the only.
But no,
idea
Ten Hag has been good against big teams, big managers. I think he rises to the occasion. I think his tactics are better against the big teams because in the Eredivisie, he didn't have to come up with this tactical genius plan to beat all the Diddy teams. He just played the same way, and it obviously doesn't work in the Premier League because the lesser teams are also very good.
Exactly,
they're big, they're physical. Yeah. That's not the case in Holland. I think that he's not getting the players though. For me, it's the players he's lacking. It's not Eric Ten Hag. It's anyway.
I put one each, but I wouldn't be surprised it's 5-0 Liverpool.
But none of us are bold enough to say that either. I think that 3-1 and 2-0. We all think it's
that's pretty sensible in that as well. So
nothing crazy.
Nothing really crazy.
It'll be a good game though.
It'll be very interesting. What talking point?
I was going to say, will Liverpool cause any more sort of melodrama in Manchester United, or will Man United wake up and remember that they're meant to be a football team competing in the Premier League?
Unbelievable drama if Man United won.
If Man United won, could you imagine? Klopp will actually start spewing.
He might not get sacked.
You would love that. Jurgen Klopp will come out.
Jurgen Klopp.
But
anyway, that is our predictions for Game Week 3 of the Premier League season. Let us know what you think the games are going to be in the comments down below, and let us know how much we either know so much about ball or we don't have an idea what we're talking about in that as well. Most likely we have no idea what you're talking about, knowing people in our comment section, but we'll take that as it comes. Please remember to like and subscribe, of course, put the bell on to make sure that you don't miss out when we upload our videos. And from myself and the boys, we hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Take care.